Today, President Biden addressing the nation on the Omicron surge. Joining me now, Chief White House Medical Advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for being with us. A lot of questions people have in light of this new variant.
Yeah, I don't really have any questions other than, why the fuck does Fauci flick his tongue like a lizard? This shit's weird. He does it constantly. Is it like a neurological disorder?
In light of the fact that we are going into the holidays, we're going to try to get through as many of them as possible. The one that I think is top of mind for most is, how dangerous is Omicron if you are triple vaxxed, meaning you are vaxxed and boosted?
Yeah, Fauci, what if we're triple vaxxed and triple masked and I put a mask up my ass?
Well, certainly you have a considerable degree of protection. We know now from studies that have already been done with more to come.
That's right. We already know the results of the studies that are here, more to come.
That if you are vaccinated without a boost, you have a diminution in the protection to Omicron when you
Omicron.
Talk about, for example, the level of antibodies. But that is very nicely reconstituted with a boost. So you can feel reasonably comfortable that all of the things being equal, that you would not get seriously ill if you get infected. There will be breakthrough infection. This is an extraordinary virus that has an amazing capability of being transmitted from person to person. But with a double vaccination of an mRNA followed by a boost, the protection against serious disease is considerable. So that is good news. It's bad news that we're dealing with such an extraordinary virus and its ability to essentially surge through the country.
This guy is an extraordinary asshole with the ability to make fear surge through the country to sell you vaccines that are funded by the taxpayer dollar, and in the end ends up in Dr. Fauci's fucking pockets.
The way it's doing right now, you know, there's 73% of the isolates are now Omicron, where just a week and a half ago, there was just literally a few percent. This is a very, very transmissible virus. But vaccine with booster is a very important tool in the armamentarium against this.
And for people who do not have the vaccine?
Well, they're going to be very vulnerable. That's the reason why I worry so much about people who still to this point refuse to get vaccinated. When you're dealing with any SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 virus, it's a problem. When you're dealing with one that spreads so rapidly and you are unvaccinated, the virus is going to find you.
It's gonna find you. The virus. It's like a detective. It's gonna come looking for. I heard there was some unvaccinated people over there now. Jesus, it's gonna find you. It's going to kill you. Fear porn. Fear porn.
And I know there are going to be a lot of people who may get minimal symptomatology, but there are a lot of people that are going to get seriously ill if you are unvaccinated. And that's the reason why, despite the recalcitrance on the part of so many people to get vaccinated, we continue to encourage them, particularly in the context of this new variant.
Oh, yeah, the new variant that hasn't killed fucking anybody.
So please get vaccinated. And if you are vaccinated, make sure you get your booster in time.
Dr. Fauci, you know very well there are people right now deciding whether or not they're going to get on planes so they can be with their families for the holidays. What should go into that calculus? What's your advice?
On a serious note, this is the oldest trick in the media book on manipulating people. They convince you that people are waiting on the edge of their seat for Fauci to tell them what to do. And if you think that other people actually believe that, you're more inclined to believe it. So they tell you what other people think in order to persuade you to think what they want you to think. So when they say, a lot of people are doing this, or a lot of people are doing that, or lots of people want to get the vaccine, you should just say,
lots of cunts.
Well, certainly any kind of travel increases the risk. If you are careful and prudent and the travel that you are about to do, you feel is important, necessary travel, like seeing a member of the family that you've not seen for a long time. If you are vaccinated and boosted, and the people that you are visiting are vaccinated and boosted.
And as long as you're obedient and do everything that we say when we tell you to do it,
you can get on a plane and travel so long as you're very prudent when you're at the airport of wearing a mask. Remember, there's nothing that is completely risk-free, but by being vaccinated, by being boosted, and by being prudent in mask wearing, you dramatically diminish the risk of getting infected and certainly of getting a severe illness.
Another sensitive question. Let's say you're boosted. You have an elderly or immunocompromised relative also vaccinated, also boosted. Is it safe for you to be with them?
Yeah, Dr. Fauci, is it safe for vaccinated people to be around other vaccinated people? I swear, there's lots of people that want to know the answer to this question. It's not us just asking softball, stupid fucking questions every time we have you on, I swear. People want to know this stuff.
Well, what I would do under that circumstance, I would probably go the extra mile to be sure that you're not bringing an asymptomatic infection into the house.
Oh my God, Fauci, tell them to put masks on their buttholes. Please tell them to put masks on their buttholes, please.
And I would get tested a day or so before you actually get in with that vulnerable person. That's something that isn't necessary, as it were. But when you have a very special circumstance, like someone who is immune compromised, you want to go the extra mile. And I would recommend that you get a test to show that not only are you vaccinated, not only are you boosted, but you know as of yesterday or today that you're not infected.
No butthole mask? Boo! I don't even think this guy cares about your fucking health.
I don't need to tell you those rapid tests have become increasingly difficult to access. People calling up their pharmacies, not able to get them. Here in New York City, lines 2 hours long. How then do you make the decision if that test isn't readily available?
Well, that's fucking weird. It's almost like there's something wrong with the supply chain or something.
Well, then again, it really is a question of your own personal ability or not to assume a risk. Different people have different risk aversions. If you are really very risk averse and you feel you want to get that extra mile to get the test and you can't get it, you may have to make the tough decision not to expose yourself to that person. Other people feel, vaccinated, boosted, the other person is vaccinated and boosted. I haven't seen them in a long time. I'm going to make a decision to see them.
I like to call those sane people. People that are not fucking insane and scared of their own shadow.
But again, if you possibly can get a test, that would be really very helpful. There are a lot of individual decisions about the risk you're willing to take. The only thing that we as public health officials and physicians and scientists is to give you, to the best of our ability, the data that we have about the risk. And when you're asking a question that you're asking right now is a totally reasonable question, you can't quantitate it, except to say that you will diminish the risk if you get a test and that test is negative.
Look, I don't pretend to be a doctor. Well, sometimes I do, but what I do with my wife isn't yours or Dr. Fauci's fucking business. But I'll tell you what else might lower the risk is if you wash them nasty-ass hands and don't lick your face every 30 seconds. That's weird.
If someone in your family isn't vaccinated, should you ask them not to show up?
Yes, I would do that.
You fucking what? You would what? You would tell your wait a minute. I think I just figured out how to get out of going to the in-laws for Christmas. You know me, always looking for the positive and everything. Hey, honey,